This is a signal generator. Oh, this is a beat frequency oscillator, a signal generator. Got a few of these around here. We're gonna hopefully by, I don't know, in a month or so, have a whole wall set up so people can mess around with them, because they were used in the radiophonic workshop to make various sounds and synthesizers. Like that. Running a museum has somewhat been a bit of a lifetime goal. My grandparents, my granddad looked after a museum up north in Wivensea, a Wivensea Lighthouse Museum on coastal stuff and this, that, and I used to go around with him late at night in the dark, and it was just always an obsession and an aim to sort of have some sort of a museum. I'm a bit of a hoarder, as you could tell, and before it was this place, it just looked like a bit of an out of hand obsession that went a little bit mad.
So that's the current number it's on, it's playing.
It's been a number of years, a large number of years of finding various things. Started with car boot sales, really. eBay, looking for cheap things. eBay's got quite expensive recently, but I've spent a lot of time emailing universities, emailing various clearance places and stuff like that, and just on the hunt. And it's now got to the point where some people have found things in the loft, they get in touch and see if they might be of use. So this is the Wurlitzer Sideman. It is the first commercially released drum machine back in 1958, I think, around. And amazingly, Musicians Union got in contact with Wurlitzer because they were worried that this thing was going to take drummers' jobs. They were asking them to stop making them. So, but can you imagine this? Stealing Lars Ulrich's job or something. Yeah, not much competition there. I've always been really interested in where technology comes from and their roots and stuff. This isn't necessarily the roots that are in here, but it's sort of the beginnings of electronics. It's just such an interesting amount of pieces of technology that have been somewhat forgotten about. And the other thing that's interesting about this stuff is you can look at it and sort of see what's going on. It's a lot more obvious than modern stuff, which is probably too good at doing its job somewhat. Back in the day, you could see things doing their thing, and it's quite fascinating. All of the mechanisms and bits and bobs.
See? Burn it, boy! Clean it, Henry, clean it good!
I like the fact that electronics kind of just affects the whole modern world. Like, you see electronics everywhere now, obviously, and there's a whole kind of history of electronics that some people are not aware of. Obviously, you see a lot of the obvious alternative electronics and historic stuff like televisions and things like that, but you hardly see things like telephone exchanges or, I don't know, old scientific equipment that have been turned into Etch-a-Sketches and stuff like that. It's about taking old items and old electronics and reusing them in a fun, interesting, and hopefully inspiring way for people of all ages. There are a number of holy grails. Obviously, just very old valve computers, but you don't see those anymore. And that's a tough question. I couldn't tell you. I mean, more synthesizers. Synthesizers, they're very hard to get hold of nowadays because they're still used, but I think there's enough for people to play on in here. The church organ, funnily enough, that was a bit of a holy grail aim, but that was found because somebody was pulling it out of a house that they were redeveloping in Bristol. Amazingly enough, the story goes is there's this lady called Joan. The church that she used to play organ at closed down in the mid-1970s, so her husband asked to get the organ instead of it getting thrown away, and they built it into their house. It lasted 40 years there. House just got sold, and I went over there to go and pick it up, to save it from going to the scrap heap. And now it's being saved and stuff, and keep on getting emails from people down the street who have a very fond memory of Joan and her church organ. And yeah, they're very pleased that it's got a third life, so to speak. Since opening the museum, it's given it a lot more purpose, and the machine's a lot more purpose. And I feel quite very pleased that they're getting to be seen by people, because after you build something like this, it kind of drives you mad, and the feeling towards it is a weird one, because you like it, because you're like, wow, that's quite an achievement to build, but at the same time, it's like, you broke me. So the feeling of having people being able to enjoy them and play them and see them and go, whoa, it makes it all worthwhile now.
Who needs a microwave when you've got a Henry?